what do? If we do not understand each other's language, we make use of signs. And this is a very big risk, very big. Now, this reminds me of a very good game, Damshiras. I'm sure all are aware that we have been playing it right from childhood just for fun. And how many times in Damshiras do we have to make an attempt to make the audience understand the name of the movie? Our team understand the name of the movie. How many times? Even the movie name is known. Okay, of course, known names are given to the participants, and he has to enact those names without opening his mouth. That is, he makes use of the signs. There are certain set of rules, certain protocols, but still, in spite of knowing it, it's very difficult to make a guesswork based on signs. So this again becomes a hurdle, a barrier to our effective communication. But this is generally we use when we go to different countries, when people do not understand our language. This is the time when we use sign languages. Like if I make a sign of a zero, okay, I'm putting my thumb finger and my thumb and my index finger together, and the rest of them up. Now this sign I want to communicate is a zero, but the other person looking at it would say, oh wow, you're beautiful. The sign is also used for good, sign also used for beautiful. I'm not saying good, I'm not saying beautiful, I am saying is zero. You got a zero, and the other person might interpret you're looking good. So that is how misunderstandings happen. Now again, this new thumbs up sign you see over here, the zero sign which I just mentioned, you see over here the thumbs up sign. Now the thumbs up sign is generally said best of luck. Nowadays it is also used, I mean, over chats to say good work, not best of luck, but good work, appreciating. Okay, whereas this is the sign we say good, but now this is also used. So different signs, I mean, even if it is known to you, but it is very difficult to judge the message from non-verbal or sign language particularly. So misunderstandings and misinterpretations are bound to happen, which is not healthy for effective communication. Hence, as much as possible, we need to avoid it. Now, non-verbal gesture communication, all right, it's different. This also comes under non-verbal communication, but gestures are something which we may or we may not consciously do. It is journal body language. When I'm talking to someone, I'm just moving my hands. That's my habit. While explaining, I make use of my hand. I am expressing it with my eyes. Same many people do. So that's my body language. Okay, but then that comes naturally. It's not purposeful. It's not intentional. Whereas these signs are used with purpose. Purpose for the other person to read clearly and understand, because we are not able to use the language. Coming up next, we have information overload. I really pity the guy in the image. Poor thing is overloaded with so much of information. Now, what do you understand by this information overload? We remember again that yes, when we are communicating, we are passing on a message or a information from one place to another, from the sender to the receiver. So that is information that we are passing. Now at times what happens is too many messages are spoken. The speaker is talking about too many things. Do this also, do that also. I had been here, I had been there. You are supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. Please speak to this person, write this on the table. So many things. So, what is happening is information is being overloaded. This generally happens in case of an organization. Also, this happens where a person is in touch with his bosses, with his clients. Again, he's not able to take so much of load. There is information from the clients which he needs to give it to the boss, information from the boss which he needs to process and give it to the client, and so on so forth. So at times he might be overloaded. So what happens when he's overloaded? Of course, he doesn't remember the right message, or he tends to select something which he feels is relevant. When a person is overloaded with information, so many things on my plate, okay, what I will do, I will eat only what I like. The first thing, I'll make it I'll do it according to the priority. So what I like the most will be my first priority. Similarly, in case of information, the person will become selective. Whatever he feels is relevant, the most important according to him, he will first work on that, and the rest will come later on in the queue. But then this may not be right, because whatever he is and he has understood to be least important or less important could be the most important, could be done on priority. But because he doesn't remember, he's overloaded, he tends to do things as per his selection. This is also one of the problem, and that's how information is overloaded. As I earlier also gave this example, that the speaker spoke very fast. Now I'm talking to someone over phone, is giving me instructions, and before I could answer back, or I mean I could understand, I had a query, I did not understand this, but before I could tell this, he hung up the phone. So I could not remember, and while trying reaching back, I was not able to get through, or the person is not available. So in this case, he spoke all the messages. He spoke a message, but it was very fast. So I could not get the right information. Too many things, the very fast pace. Then comes an unwanted information. This is very dangerous. This acts as a barrier and also leads to many misunderstandings. Like, say I am taking a training on communication. Okay, so the company that I'm taking the training with should give me information only regarding my training. It is not required for me to know what the other person is going to take training for, okay, or how was his training. What will happen if I know? Is it of any use to me? No, because I am interested in if anyone else taking communication. So my subject is communication. I'm interested in communication. I do not understand anything of finance. What will I do knowing who's taking finance? How does it matter to me? Not at all. But with this unwanted information, if it is passed out, it may lead to misunderstanding, it creates gossip and unwanted issues. So we have to avoid this. Information should be given only as much as required. Like I've seen many people, even talking to acquaintances as if they are best friends, which is wrong. Any information which is either personal or official should be restricted. We should have that much of sense as to how much to speak. We know 10 things, but are all the 10 things required to be spoken to a person? That is our decision, and we have to filter it accordingly. After information overload, we have perception. Well, what do I say about perception? We all have perceptions. We all live with certain perceptions. Rather, life is full of perception or collection of perceptions. How do we get this perception? Because we have a prejudiced nature. We have heard stories. Okay, like I have perceptions that all black people are from Africa. Even if they are from South Africa, but I hear the name Africa and assume that okay, from Africa has to be black. That's my prejudice. For an example, no, I mean it's not true. I also have learned that, but this is what I used to. And how did I get this? With previous experience. Let's say I had bad experience of traveling by bus. A bus from station to my destination, to my workplace, is always very crowded, always. So what do? I have set a perception. No, I am not traveling by bus again. Why? Because bus are crowded. Bus are not good. The conductors are very rude. Because one conductor was rude, I have got a general perception about all the conductors. Once I got a bus which was which was held in traffic, or it was overcrowded, I should say. So I had a perception, I've developed a perception that no, I'm not going by bus because it's overcrowded. It takes so much of time. Now, how does this perception affects our effective communication?